Greetings and salutations. I'm Ben, and welcome to the Sunday Night hanging right here on Sundays on my YouTube channel because it's easier that way. I get to press the on and off buttons. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe. And of course, if you're returning, welcome back. Speaking of welcoming and backening, that's right, my brother in tone, Aaron from Albus Band in the house.
What's up, brother?
Doing well, doing well. Up to my elbows in tone. That's what I'm saying. Up to my elbows. Yes. Wow, we already got a bunch of people in the chat here.
Yes, we do.
Who do we have? We got Graphite and Cigars. We got Ferd Burfel. My knees hurt. Zach Thong. Got to see Zach Thong yesterday. Let's see. Who else is here? Ryan Hall is here. Charles 75N. More on him later. Tom Rains. Says, I need a new amp, a Victory RK, or a Mesa Badlander. Ooh. Let me think on that one. William De Silva's here. Paul McNary and the Cats. Guitar Man 45. Mark Taft. What's up? Scott Brockway. Devin Cinderwitz. Terry's 333 Gs. Richard Nagamitsu. Who else we got in here? Sassy Cat. Presley California Customs. More on him later as well. Let's see. Jim Ray Hawkins. Stephen Douglas. People. Yeah. Lawrence Cash out of Alaska.
Ooh, nice. Alaska.
Mason Douglas. What's up, my friend? Ryan, OU812. Good to see you. All right. We got Dana.
So what has everybody been up to?
Studio. That's a mouthful. That's not English at all. Ben Allmark's here. He's like local, basically. He's a fellow Ben in Ontario. Dave Chase. Riff is in the house.
You
got it in your head, Aaron.
It's your fault, you fucker.
Yeah, I can write an earworm. Billy
That's true.
John Shane. He's out of Alberta. Symmetry. What's up? Growing up some burgers. Nice. All right, Jeff K's here. I think I got everybody. Apparently, I have no bandwidth tonight, which is odd.
It is odd. I wonder why that is.
Well, I don't have much to begin with, so if I lose some, I pretty much lose it all.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So why don't you start by telling us what you've been up to? Because I know what you've been up to.
Flipping gear.
Yeah.
Wiring gear.
Yes.
Let's see. Since the last time we spoke, which would have been a couple of weeks
ago. I think it's been a couple of weeks because last week I had the kiddos, most of it. Now that we're in the summer, I get them for like 5-day stretches, which is nice.
A couple of weeks ago. 3 weeks. 3 weeks? When I did my birthday hang?
I feel like we FaceTimed once in between, but either way, continue.
All right. Well, since that time, we've got a couple new Keeley pedals in the family.
Well, I saw the vintage phaser and the AT mod.
Yep. So we're enjoying those tremendously. They're back there at the moment because they're off the pedal board. Pedal board got rebuilt yesterday.
Okay.
For now. Because there's still gear on the way. More on that later. There's always gear on the way. What am I talking about? When isn't there gear on the way? So, let's see. Did I have the Radial North Star last time we talked?
No.
Oh, yeah, picked that up last month. Okay. That was cool. I really dig it. We also got the DoD phaser.
Okay, I like that pedal.
Yeah, I love that pedal. Really love that pedal. For a one-knob phaser, it's just, I think it may be better, in my opinion,
than a Phase 90?
Than a Phase 90.
I'm with you. Yep. Are you going to be pulling things together in order to get Set Explorer?
Well, there's a lot of stuff on the marketplace, local marketplace for sale right now. We have guitar. No, is there any guitars listed yet? No. Amplifiers, plural.
What do you listed amplifier wise? This is for all you there Canadians. If you want to pick up something of Ben's.
All right. Yes, Ryan, you will get an AT Mod demo it'll be coming out in the future. Got a bunch of guitar demos to get out this month first. I put my VHT up for sale.
Okay.
And I put my crate half stack up for sale. Go figure.
Yeah, big shock there.
Yeah.
Although I will say, one of the sleeper amps, because it's easy to crap on crate. That's just kind of what we do.
Yeah.
There's an amp by them called I want to say it's the Vintage Club.
Okay.
And I remember when I'm going to look real quick. I'm on Guitar
I priced
Center.
it at $150, Patrick. Local pickup only. Well,
that's a good deal.
Yeah. It's a US made head and cab. So
yeah, the Crate Vintage Club 50.
Okay.
It was really good. Like it came in and it was like, oh, okay, this is dirt freaking cheap for a tube amp. You know what I mean? And I sitting around one day and I plugged in and I was like, the hell is this? This isn't a crate. So we were so dead at work that day. I opened up the chassis and pulled it out. No wonder. It's made by Trace Elliott. And I'm like, well, that explains it. This doesn't suck. I was like,
Billy Bloney had a Vintage Club 30.
It's good. They're really good. I think they've got like a 20, a 30, and a 50 maybe. And I was like, you know what? If you need a nice, cheap amp, and you're not going to be like me and be snobbish about the brand that's on the top of it, or you could literally just remove the logo and claim it's something completely different. That amp is pretty damn good. I was shocked.
I was shocked. Even though I have a half stack priced at $150, I still got tire kickers. The guys, how's it sound cranked up? And the speakers for it. It's $150, dude.
For $150, you could part it out. Jesus.
Yeah.
The speakers would be worth, $25 a pop. So there's 100 of it. And then sell the cab for $50 on its own. There's the 150.
Right? It's like, geez. Some people. So, yeah. So, okay. Billy says the Vintage Club 30 was a poor man's AC30. Nice. What's up, Lee?
It makes sense. I mean, but like I said, for how cheap they are, I mean, you can get them in the U.S. for like $300. It's unbelievable. I mean, the 50 was $300, so
right,
$350, something like that. I mean, getting a 20 or a 30 is probably even cheaper than that.
So, also. I got to shoot a demo. I checked. I don't have a demo shot yet. I got to shoot a demo. I got to shoot a demo on this right away because this has to go into the mail. This has been sold.
Oh, yeah. You might want to get on that.
So there will be a demo, maybe. If I can get a usable tone out of it, there will be a demo. If I can't get a usable tone out of it, there's no demo. That's how it works.
Or you just shoot a demo where you go, boom, set the guitar down, walk away. Come back, turn off the amp, goes black.
Right. Johnny Heartbreaker asks, what would you guys recommend for a delay pedal? Depends. Do you want analog? Do you want digital? Do you want digital sounds analog? Do you have a budget? Pimp Daddy says, I just repaired a Fender FM212 and put two new somethings at Celestians in it. Mark Taft in the chat has that same amp because I sold him a Fender FM212. I also have back there, you can't see it. Can a fella? Right there is the FM100H to go with the matching 412. So, let's see. Hey, Jay Steen. What's happening, my friend?
Terry just asked me if
the Blue Voodoo
was done by Trace, and I do not know, but I do remember when I was younger, I liked that amp. So that's a good question. So now I'm over here wondering.
I'm going to say, as far as recommending for a delay pedal, if you want purely just analog, go for MXR carbon copy.
Yeah, say if you want something good that's not going to break the bank.
Keeley Halo. Love it. Love my Halo.
Well, it depends. Is he looking for an analog delay? Because, I mean, if he wants like an actual Bucket Brigade analog delay, then, I mean, I love the Halo. That's probably my favorite Keeley pedal. But you could get a Mythos Oracle is a fantastic analog delay. You could get a Native Audio Wilderness is fantastic. I like that one because you can hold down the second foot switch. They have a little button, and you can toggle between whether it's on tap tempo or on ramp. And then if you hold down the ramp, it speeds up the Bucket Brigade chip, and then you let go, and it drops it back down to the actual like speed that you're at. There's so many good pedals. I mean, if you're a rich man, you could get the Art Van delay, which is probably like the best analog delay. You could also get one of the J Rocket Clockworks, which is actually what I think I'm going to pick up, even though I'm like, why? I have more in delays than any person could ever utilize.
You have phasers.
Dude, I think right now I have.
All right. I'm putting a poll in the chat because I'm curious about this.
Oh, I'll answer. But you know why I have to.
Let's see here. Mason Douglas says, do more people use Marketplace over Kijiji for Canadian used gear? I don't know. I don't use Marketplace myself. I just use Kijiji. Because Marketplace, I can't figure, like, the ad goes off and it's gone, and there's no way to interact and find stuff. I don't like the concept of Facebook Marketplace. I don't know how to take down an ad once it's out there in the Googleverse. So I don't like it. I don't like it.
I've only bought 2 things off of Marketplace, but both times I got them significantly cheaper than had I bought them on a site. Because you figure, as you know, selling to like a Guitar Center or a Long & McQuaid, you're only going to get, say, 60, 70% or whatever they're going to sell it for. And then even on Reverb, people know they're going to get hit with whatever it is, 6%. So they knock it up a little bit to cover that. But if you can find somebody that's a legit listing, which is the big secret, because Facebook Marketplace is littered with fake listings. My dad was trying to sell he ended up selling his motorcycle, but say there was like 7 people that reached out. 2 of them were bots. 1 or 2 of them was like the same person that like was going back and forth, like writing the same thing to my dad. And then eventually found somebody that drove over from Indiana and picked it up. But
Michael Kress says you go to your ad and click on delete. Yeah, I can't find my ads once they're out there. What's up, Fruitcake Tony? Guitar Man 45 says Guitar Center over here in Southfield, they want to become my friend. No doubt. No doubt. Who else asked? Pimp Daddy says, what do you use for sales site? I use Kijiji, or honestly, I post stuff on Patreon for patrons, or I'll put something up for channel members. We're going to end the poll because apparently only 32 out of 50 plus of you only even use delays, I guess. And apparently 2/3 don't care for the tap. I don't need the tap either myself.
I do, just because when I'm singing, I have mine set different tempos always. So like I don't use it on the quarter note delay that's on. That's always on reverb and delay. But then on like the solid gold effects one that's set to like the dotted eighth, that one I use the tap on.
Not a problem, Pimp Daddy.
But it's definitely not. It would not be a deal breaker for me. Like the carbon copy is a fantastic analog delay, and the original one that doesn't have tap on it, no problem.
If anyone's looking for a carbon copy, hit a fella up. He's got one for sale.
There you go. Hey, that dude that was just looking for one.
Yeah,
he could buy it off you.
I say cheap because on the used table blowing out at the Customer Appreciation Day at the Long & McQuaid, they're blowing one out for $150 Canadian. So that's a good deal, but I have one out in the van for $100 if somebody wants one. So $100 plus shipping Canadian.
You know, an analog delay, now that I think about it, that I always really liked was the way huge ones, the Aquapus and the Superpuss.
Right.
I always like those, especially the Superpuss that has, the dotted eighth and all the little fine tuning things for the tone and everything. Those were always really cool, and they're not outlandish either. Plus, it says puss on your board. What's better than that?
My niece says, I have no idea how to use delay. It always sounds lame to me unless I'm just making noise. Most of the time, I'm just using a slapback.
Oh, yeah. You know me. I live with delay on. But
I think that's the ultimate irony. Like, I have a halo on my board, and most of the time, it's set to slapback.
See, to me, where people...
It's the most waste of a delay ever.
Where people make mistakes with delay is they don't mix the volume of it to the volume of their guitar. The way I've always used delay is guitar signal, and then say like half of that is delay. So it's like you're never going to be overtaken by the delay when you hear it. Now, the second delay, which brings up why I have the two delays on the board. One that's always on is at like 50%, and then the second one is set closer to unity. And that way, when I need to like go into something real big, real heavy, or go into a lead part, then it kind of can stand out and sustain, and you hear it a little bit more. But I mean, realistically, unless you're doing some ambient rock piece or some kind of, I don't know, instrumental music, that you're not going to have the real loud repeats on your delay.
Yep. What's up, Unfucking Believable? Congrats on the new Badlands guitar. I saw the photo.
You get the original run or the second? Was the second one announced yet?
No.
Or is it the original run?
It's original.
Red and black? Okay, yeah, because I know Phil went and did the QC on those like a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But I didn't know if they announced what the second one is yet. I know they know, but I didn't think I saw anything on that.
Unbelievable probably knows.
Yeah, he probably does.
He probably knows. So, speaking of also coming in, we got rid of a Line 6 HX effects on Friday.
Yes, and I like your pickup.
Unopened. New in box.
Well, it was never going to be your cup of tea.
No, I already had one. I tried it. Didn't need to try the other one that came in. So
no. And I mean, I get why, if you were somebody that was having a fly rig and you didn't want to have a bunch of pedals on it, it could do your reverbs and delays, throw it at the end of the board.
I already have the stomp too. So
yeah, I mean, you've got
the amp and tabs and everything in it too. So
yeah, you've got some duplicity there. So yeah. I happen to like what you got for it better than
we upped the CanCon in here, my fellow Canucks. For those who don't know what CanCon means, it means Canadian content. Means.
Oh, okay,
Canadian
cool.
content.
There you go.
Which is a law in Canada, Aaron, where for you to be considered a Canadian broadcaster, you need to broadcast at least 30% Canadian-made content on your radio or television station.
Okay. Do you do that?
Do I do that?
Yeah.
Sure. Just me being on camera, it's 100% CanCon.
Oh, well, there you go. Then you're 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did update the CanCon in here because out went the HX effects, which I was telling Aaron, I threw the ad up on the Kijij, and a fella reached out with the message, and he says, "Hey, are you into boutique pedals?" Man, did you message the right person on Kijiji? I'm just saying. Yes. What do you have? So sent me a list, and so incoming. We have possibly. I think it is my new favorite compressor. I believe it's an optical compressor too.
Correcto.
Yeah, diamond compressor.
Which those
That's
were
exactly
just
why Bob Doug McKenzie exists, Michael Krause, to increase the amount of CanCon. It's got all the Velcro on the back.
Just re-released by the boys at Solid Gold Effects, who now own.
Yeah, I was going to say the company has been sold. I believe that's how that.
I love Solid
Nova
Gold.
Scotia, now out of Montreal, and I don't know why I feel the need to pull the Velcro off right now live on air, but I'm doing that.
pretty satisfying. It's kind of like the plastic on a guitar.
Yeah, there we go. Release.
Speaking
There we
of-
are. So
Speaking
yeah.
of plastic on a guitar, I always find it way more satisfying to pull off the plastic on the back of the guitar when I know it's going to come off nice and clean, rather than the pick guard where you got to work around the knobs and the selector switch.
That's a rant. There's a rant. I don't know when. It might be on one of the demos that comes out this week, but on the condom on the pick guard of a Les Paul, it actually has a decal on it that says "peel from the edge."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck peeling it from the center. How do you peel from the center?
No, you don't. No good.
You can only pull from the edge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't say from.
I do really.
It doesn't say from this edge, right? It says the edge.
Yeah. So there you go, Elbarge. You were asking our elite. It's a diamond compressor with comp, EQ, and volume.
Yeah, and that's an original. Yeah, I was going to say that's an original. Keep that.
Oh, yeah. And I really like it. Dials in really nice. You can use it a bit as a boost if you want. Plays well with single door humbuckers.
You can boost the shit out of your amp with that if you want.
Oh, yeah. Which I did. What's up, Jason Lindholm? And then, speaking of Canadian content, did I mention Canadian content? Well, we got some more Canadian content, which is a BAM! Diamond J Drive Mark III.
Cool pedal.
Yep. I don't know what's that. A bright switch, I guess. BRT. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
It's got drive, warmth, and volume, and then there's a gain for the clean boost. Which, if it's a clean boost, then it's not really gain. It'd be volume.
This is true. Yeah, you would think that makes perfect sense. That checks out.
So it's not so clean. But then again, Epiphone has issued a 61 SG reissue, they called it. I said there's no such thing.
Wait a minute.
Such thing.
It didn't come out in 61.
No. Well, it's an SG shaped object, but it was called.
It was a Les Paul at that
until
point. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The SG wasn't out in 61. It was, like you said, technically it was out, but it wasn't an SG.
So we got a pair of diamonds.
Girl's best friend. It fits.
Yep. But wait, there's more. What's up, Mad Raj?
This is my favorite part.
How is that Indie Timmons delay? Does it do everything you need? It does everything I need and then more.
Oh yeah, Halo's amazing.
And then I got yelled at by Charles 75N.
I love this pedal.
Because he says, you just got the AT mod. I'm like, yeah. And you don't like blues drivers.
I love blues drivers.
He says, so why did you get an Anger driver with the red remote from JHS?
I use the red remote live on my Twin 12. Yep.
And so this allows you to go between the JHS and the Boss. And you can run it in parallel or series, I guess.
Is that how it works on that one? I was going to say, I don't know how the red remote works on that. On their other pedals, it's the two gain stages. So it's like there's the clean and the high gain.
Gotcha.
So it's like the red remote turns it clean to high. So like I have the clean always on the Twin 12. And then my next gain stage up is the high. Then my next gain stage up is the Walrus Audio 385. And then my blow it to hell currently is No Blood Noise Endeavors Haunt Fuzz.
And I will say the guy took care of his pedals. Doesn't keep boxes apparently, but yeah.
He gave you the cable too?
Yeah, the cable was thrown in as well.
Can't argue with that.
Yep. Yep. So quite happy. Hey, Mark's gas station. Mark's, I haven't spoke to you in a bit. How's Dad doing? Still in the hospital. Mark waiting to get him into a long-term care home.
Yeah, I was going to say the last time that we had spoken, that was a must at this point.
Yeah.
But you also made it sound like that was better on his health and longevity and also on yours.
Yes.
safer. You know what I mean? Definitely safer.
Yeah, definitely safer. So, unfortunately, as such, he has been in a bit of a funk and depressed the past week. So, I haven't talked to him since Friday, but I was over there Friday evening for a while, which I was over there 3 times in 4 days, which it was like, yeah, so I hate hospitals a lot.
Oh, you and I have talked about this. We both despise them.
Yeah, so for me to get in there three times in 4 days, it was rough to say the least. So do appreciate the ask, Mark, but yep, that's what's up with that. So, but we got pedals and stuff.
You do.
Unbelievable. Cool. Thank you, good sir. That goes towards the fund, which is all surplus cash.
For the Explorer.
How angry is the angry driver? It depends on how much you turn it up, I guess. The drive, I guess, would be the anger.
It can get pretty damn angry. That's a Marshall in a box.
Yep.
What's funny, now that I think about it, the angry driver has 2 pedals in it, both of which were the basis of Andy Timmons' signature pedals.
Yes.
The AT and then the AT Mod.
Yeah. So the only thing I don't have is basically a stock. Well, I guess the Boss side would be a stock blues driver, I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess technically I have a blues driver now.
Yep.
I had some blues driver clones in the past.
Yeah. What was it? Was it Digitech that did the Screamin' Blues? Was that Digitech?
Nice, RJ. Yes, I do. Oh, I do have a Screamin' Blues still. Yes.
There you go. That's not a bad cheap pedal.
No, ironically enough, really liked it into my Fender amp for years. That was my clean tone in the metal band.
I believe it.
And then I also used it for years playing covers through the Blues Deluxe. Not a fan of it through the Marshall, though.
Oh, I believe that as well.
Yep. Which is why I think I don't like blues drivers, Aaron, because the one time I tried the Wazacrap blues driver, was into a JCM 800.
Oh, it's a terrible idea.
And I went, so that's what a blues driver sounds like. I don't like it. And then I flipped the Waza switch, and that made it Waza worse.
Oh, I believe that too.
It was worse. Way was worse.
Oh, check it out. Damn, Charles 75N.
Charles.
Helping you go exploring.
Which I hopefully will have an update on for tomorrow night's Canucks show.
I'm in the process of figuring out the easiest way for me to break into Long & McQuaid and get the guitar for him.
I can tell you exactly where it is because I'm the one that put it back on the shelf in the back room.
I know. We'll have an update once I determine whether or not I need to use dynamite or can get by with a shovel.
I think an aggressive crowbar will do the trick based on going in and out of the employee entrance as much as I have. Not that you go in, turn right, walk 6.5 feet, reach at chest level. I have not cased, looked around the room.
I am still fast as hell, so I'll get away. The problem is you're then going to immediately have to call an ambulance because I will have a heart attack if I run.
And I got this yesterday. I was going to save the show tomorrow. Bottle opener.
I noticed you had a bottle. What is that a bottle of?
Oh.
A root beer? Dad's root beer. I was right.
Racinette, a.k.a. root beer.
Nicely done.
Yep. So,
my knees hurt. Yes, it's a Gibson. I asked the same thing when he texted me.
Yeah.
So, they already have it in a pretty fair place, so I told him if he gets anything to shake off of that tree, that's a pretty damn nice day.
Yeah, because it's already below, we'll call it fair market value, or average sale value.
I was going to say it was at the low end of what I saw when I looked for it.
Yeah. Plus, the American market for Explorers is softer than the Canadian market for whatever reason. Which, then again, I think it's just because less stuff just gets sold initially up here to begin with. So, I'm jealously. So, anyways, what was I talking about? So, yes, as of the last update, we did I brought out on Tuesday a teaser video because I went into the store Monday and they said it's going to take about a week and a half to arrive. So of course it arrived the next day, Aaron, because that's how that works, right? So we looked at it. I did not play it. I just looked at it to make sure it was in one piece. And it looked great. And I went, okay, fine. So then I went back in.
Did you play it this time?
On Wednesday. I went back in on Wednesday. That's right.
You played it?
To play it. Yes.
Did you video you playing it?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Just sat down, played it. Played it through a Tone Master Princeton, which is the amp I've been using in the demos that are coming out last week and this week. Also played it through, I think it was the iconic 5150 combo.
Okay.
So got both flavors of how it handles stuff. Looking for a reason not to buy it, Aaron, is the thing. And it's still very well.
No. I think, does that have Dirty Finger pickups in it?
I don't know. Terry thinks possibly.
Because I would have guessed Dirty Fingers.
It's a reissue of a 76 made in 2016, so it'd be a 40th anniversary of a 76.
Well, now that's worth looking up. I'm on that. That'll drive me absolutely bonkers.
Something else I wanted to check was I threw it onto the workbench. The workbench was empty, so I threw it on the workbench and pulled off the old truss rod cover to see, what kind of condition the truss rod was in. It's not bonkers. I can tell you by looking at it visually with the eyes, Aaron. Pretty sure I was the first person ever to adjust that truss rod, and possibly the first person ever to even look under that truss rod cover since it was installed at the factory.
Looks like
all I found was buffing compound and absolutely no marring of the paint that gets oversprayed onto the truss rod nut.
This says, looks like the stock pickups are 496R ceramic magnet humbucker and 500T ceramic magnet humbuckers.
That would do it.
Interesting.
Which is great for me because I like ceramic pickups.
And they are hot.
Yep. And they're also exposed blacktops.
Now, I don't know if that varies by year. Like you said, it's a 2016, so maybe that changes the calculus, but maybe it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
you know who would know? Our good friend Eljan Go. If he's in the chat. Eljan, what pickups are in that?
Yes.
Answer.
If you're lurking. Richard Nagamitsu asks, how did you like the Tone Master Princeton? So, I played that amp previous to shooting the demos, and that's the reason I chose it for the demos. And the reason being, Aaron, is I pulled a guitar off the rack. I can't remember what the guitar was. I want to say it was a Gibson product of some sort.
Okay.
Plugged it into the Tone Master Princeton, which was cranked up about halfway, 4 or 5.
Okay.
Because they don't put out a lot of volume, so you got to crank them. Somebody had already had tremolo enabled, which I don't see a way to disable it other than just turning them down all the way, but whatever.
I'm pretty sure you just turn it off, yeah.
Yeah. So
0.
Whatever it was set at and whatever the tone settings were, I plugged into it with a Gibson-shaped object at a reasonable volume, and I immediately sounded like RJ doing one of his Carter's vintage videos. And I went, oh, this is a nice amp, Aaron, because that's what a Gibson through a Fender is supposed to sound like RJ playing in a Carter's video.
Now, if only you could play like RJ.
Well, this is the thing, right?
This is the thing. Reality.
It worked for the slow strum of the opening chord. It worked that long, and then immediately no talent. But
RJ is the only person on YouTube that I ever took the time to learn one of his demo riffs. I loved the demo riff that he did on the Cattle and Bread Geiges fuzz, which is another fuzz I should probably get because that thing sounds killer.
I used that already? No, I didn't. There it is. Thanks to my good friend Billy Maloney in the chat. When I met up with him last week, he gave me an RJ guitar pick.
I have one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an RJ shirt too. Actually, there's a picture from probably 3 years ago where RJ and I are both wearing RJ Ronquillo shirts.
Nice.
And I said, who wore it better? That was in California.
Nice. And yes, Terry, the AT mod did work well. That's what I used for the gain in all the demo videos that are coming out in the next week or so. Because fun fact, that Keeley pedal will accept 9-volt batteries.
Oh, interesting.
I wanted to take a pedal that I could just run off a battery. You know, I didn't have to worry about an extra outlet, extra cord, or anything. And so, yeah, that worked out really well. That way, also, I'm not going into the new gear. Although I could have grabbed out. Oh, I might do that next time. Because they have in a lot of expensive pedals in there right now. So, give me a chance to play some expensive pedals that I don't normally get a chance to play on.
I'll tell you what, I've liked the sound of 1981 Inventions finally released a second pedal. Like they had the DRV out for what seems like 3 years. That's a great rat-based sounding pedal, but they finally released, that's not a word, the LVL, and it's like, I don't even know what I would call it. I think they're calling it like a transparent boost, something to that effect. Transparent drive, but it's to me, it's, I don't know if I'd call it's 2 knobs. So
yeah,
I don't know. It sounds really good though. It's another one of those things that I'm like, don't need it. Have 9 million pedals that probably will get me in the same bulb. But I mean, I have a Greer light speed. If you have a light speed, you don't need to do anything in that realm. You know, that's kind of the end all be all of the transparent drives. Yeah, it sounded good.
Zach brought over to Long McQuaid yesterday a couple of his acoustic guitars that were just freaking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, what did he bring?
I can't remember the name. They're a custom builder.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure he had his name inlaid on the 12th fret on one of them, though, too.
Nice. But that's good. If you're ever drunk with your guitar and they ask who you are, you can just point.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Now you just need your address, you know, on the headstock, and you're good to
That's
go.
why my dad had always left one of his business cards inside the sound hole. Gear Junk 35 finally played a PRS Silver Sky at the Milwaukee Guitar Center. Hate to say, but it's an overpriced Strat at the end. Yep. I put out a demo on one this past week.
Yes, you did. I've always said it. Well, you.
In what world is that moon white? That's buttercream yellow.
The one that you played? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they call that moon white?
They call that moon white.
No, that looked like buttercream. But PRS is like the only brand of guitar. I mean, I've owned every frickin' brand, some of them several times over. I've never owned a PRS, and they're built well. They're impeccable QC, whether you're getting the American or their imports. They're always built well. I've got nothing bad to say about their build quality. It's just, God, I never get on with their pickups at all.
Yeah, and that one, it sounded stratty, but you know, what do you expect from 3 singles? You know, with the middle one out of phase.
I mean, I've never been the guy that's big on like super flashy, quilty, flamey tops. That's never really been my thing.
That reminds me of like from the car culture world, like chrome don't get you home.
Yeah, I mean,
flame top don't give you tone.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is it's like they do it better than anybody else. And if you're the kind of person that likes to see, you know, the depth and the movement, then I mean, God bless you.
Stuckless guitars. That's what Zach has. Stuckless.
That's just never been my thing. So between the flashiness of them and then really the pickups, because I like the look of the Mira is a kind of different pickguard shape, and it's mostly solid colors. I love the look of that. And I thought about getting one of those once, but then when I plugged it in, I was like, damn it, it still has that same PRS pickup thing that I don't like. So then I was like, well, if I buy this, I could always throw in a Lawler. But then I was like, I don't even know if this is the same size, because, you know, they do like their own size humbuckers and stuff in certain guitars. And I was like, it's a lot of hassle for something I'm not.
Boner Jams, Captain Sexy himself. Do you know what I said to Paul Reed Smith last week, Aaron? It's a
What
fun
you
fact.
said? What you
I
said
met him
to him?
last week. Yeah. I
Yeah.
met him
What did you say to Paul Reed Smith? Who are you?
Nope.
No.
You build some nice guitars.
Oh, there you go.
And he went, you built some nice guitars. No. And then he thought about it. He went, hey. Oh, that's right. He was like, thanks. Hey, that wasn't a compliment. You're right. It was an observation. You built some nice guitars.
Yeah, the quality on them, like you can't like Jay Steen just said he sold his PRS S2 and kept his Korean SE. I love Korean guitars, so I'm gonna thumbs up that all day, every day. But I mean, their QC is, to be honest with you, that should be like one of the models for anybody
They also
starting
had,
something up.
I don't know what model it was because it was probably like a 16 top or something. $19,000 in change.
I saw it. That was the one that was hanging on like the strings inside the glass case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. But again, that was one where I looked at it and I was like, I wouldn't want to play that. You know what I mean? Like that's something that like might look cool in the background on a wall of a video.
You know what I would like to do just to see the meltdown from the PRS crowd is pull it out and immediately sand the back of the neck to make it playable, like JJ.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah,
just
JJ does. He'll take the finish off of any neck. It doesn't matter how much it is. If he's gonna play it and play it a lot, he's taking the neck.
yeah, Billy saw it.
Where is old JJ? JJ, you in the chat? I know California's behind us, but if you're in the chat, say hello.
James could be lurking. Yes.
He could be.
Okay, Devin's got a 245. Hey, you know what? If you like PRSs, great. It's more for you guys. You know.
Well, and like I said, I'm not knocking the build quality at all. Build quality is stupendous. For me, it's the pickups I've never got on with.
Yeah. I tell you, man, that Explorer tried to find something wrong with it. Could not.
You know what's hilarious? Going the other way. Gibson has historically had a lackluster QC, but I like their pickups. You want to talk about like polar opposites? If I could find a way to merge the QC from Paul Reed Smith with the pickups of Gibson, that'd be the company.
So when I'm looking at it, because I want to make sure the neck angle was correct and stuff, and it's close.
I was like, it's never going.
Tailpiece is a little high for my liking, but then I'm looking straight down at it.
Did the post still have room? If you wanted to lower it, could you still lower the tailpiece?
No, I'd have to raise it because they're touching the back of the bridge ever so slightly.
Oh, okay.
So, or I just top wrap it. And
I was gonna say I'd make sure it's centered because I've had issues with that too, where like one side is.
It's centered to the point where I'm looking and the string doesn't even go over the pole piece on the humbucker on the high E, and it barely makes it over the pole piece of the low E. Because I was like, are these not the stock pickups? Are they? Because the pickups are too narrow for the string spacing. I'm like, no, that's our Gibson.
You're like, that's that thing that everyone talks about, QC.
Well, for the instant, shouldn't a bridge pickup be wider than a neck pickup? Because the string spacing is wider.
I don't know that I've ever paid attention to that, but it makes sense in theory.
Right? Because, the string spacing is different between the neck and bridge pickups. What's up, Ron? Bo loves all of his PRSs. That's fine. Yeah. Not my thing. See, when I visit Bo, he's going to make me play nothing but Taylor acoustics and PRSs for electrics. I know it.
That'd be funny.
Taylor.
I was just looking over there going, where is my Les Paul? And then I was like, oh, that's right. It's in a case in the other room because I don't really play it.
I would do it.
I mean, great sounding guitar, but I've gotten so into the 25.5-inch scale range. The older I get, I tend to prefer that. Which is weird because I grew up playing, like the guitar that I had my whole life was a Les Paul Special, which is why I know I'm tuned for P90s. Mm-hmm. But it was always, 24 3/4 P90s. That was what I was. The older I get,
says Trumbucker is 53 millimeter. Regular humbucker is 50. Interesting.
Interesting. There you go.
Sassy Cat.
You know what you could do with that Explorer is you could throw in a Thornbucker. That would be killer because those pickups are great.
Could, but I'm not. I like ceramic pickups.
I've played 3 or 4 of those, and I'm like, wow, these are fantastic pickups.
That's why my signature humbucker is based off a ceramic pickup.
Does make sense. Speaking of signature, is your red and black Reno Fin up and running, or is she still down?
No, I got to get a hold of Travis about that, which might be the next week or two, actually. Now that I have more free time.
Well, I was going to say the last time I talked to you about it, he had moved up there, which was a good thing, but then I didn't hear anything else from you.
Yeah, he's living locally. He's got a day job, so I'm not able to just, wander over and loiter during an afternoon.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Guitar Man 45 is exploring the heritage guitars now. Nice.
Great guitars.
I also want to mention, I saw, we got Charles 75N and Presley California Customs. I'm going to be joining them next Sunday on their show over on the Charles 75N channel. So check it out, folks. They'll still be doing a show tomorrow.
Speaking of Charles 75N, if you guys haven't watched his channel, I've been watching it quite a bit lately. It was nice to catch up on some of he did the dual telly fabric tops. Mm-hmm. That was fun to watch. I think one of those was for Unbelievable.
Yep. One was for him, and then the second one went to Unbelievable.
It was also really nice to hear him say "fuck." Yep. Way to go, Charles. I love it.
Yep. So if Charles could put a link to his own channel in the chat, that'd be nice. So more people get ahead. We got 59 people watching, so you should all be subscribed to Charles if you're not already.
Yep, I am. As of the last time I was on, I had already thought I was, but then, as we were talking last time, I'm like, I can't remember seeing any Charles 75 content.
Also, I have coming out a demo this week of a custom shop 50s. What do they call it? Faded edition? Lester Pulfus shaped object.
Oh, nice.
Because somebody conveniently left the display case, because that's not out on the rack here, and it's in the the lights and stuff, right? Much PRS case, same idea, but they every Long McQuaid, they have this one glass case that they put right inside the front door type thing for you to drool over the masterpiece when you walk in. And somebody happened to leave the case unlocked, so I was able to snag on the guitar that's on sale for about 6,000 Canadian.
Yeah, how was it?
Meh. It's a weird thing about Les Pauls, Aaron. I'm saying to the guys, if you play 10 of them, sub Doug Strong and Josh and Live Sawa, all you gentlemen, I found if you play 10 Les Pauls, it'll be 9 of them are meh and 1 is really cool, but you can't put into words why that 1 is cooler than the others.
I'd probably give it more than 9. I'd say 6 or 7 are meh, 3 or 4 are this is a damn good guitar. That's probably more realistic. But I know exactly what you're talking about. There's certain ones that...
But yeah, and I can't say what makes one better than the other. It's not like a neck shape or
what I noticed is there's there's a liveliness and a ring to them that varies greatly. There's certain ones where we used to get them out and because the Gibson rep was really cool. I was friends with him. And when he'd come in, he'd bring some with him. He'd check to make sure the displays are the way they're supposed to be and stuff. And I remember it was that year right after the takeover, the Switch. And those first batch of guitars that came out after the Switch were really, really good. And there was a bourbon burst one that I hated the color of it. But my God, it was probably the most resonant, both plugged in and acoustic, where I was like, this is a loud guitar. This, whatever you guys did to this, do on all of them, because this guitar is alive. And he said, hey, that's what happens when they're handmade. I go, they're not all totally handmade. He goes, no, but you know what I mean. They're still wrapped and done by hand and this, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah.
You know my opinion on this. Doug's saying, people will criticize or defend the inconsistency of Gibson. I like the inconsistency because I want to be able to go in and have 10 Les Pauls that all play a little different from each other. I don't want the same thing just in different colors, which is like if there's 10, I don't know, custom 24s, PRS custom 24, they're all going to play the same, I find. And they all sound the same. Or if it's 10 American Pro 2 Strats.
No, I see what he's saying. He's not saying that he's got an issue with the inconsistency. He's saying the hypocrisy that they'll defend the issues on one brand, but they won't with the other. In that case, they're just Gibson fanboys. No, I like that all guitars have a little bit of a vibe that's different to them. I mean, there's guitars.
It's the inconsistencies that make them different from each other, which is what I want, because I'm not going to like the same thing that you're going to like necessarily. Now that said, like say I played the custom shop Les Paul, and I mean, it was decent. I couldn't point out anything I didn't. Well, all right. The one thing I didn't like is the way they oversprayed the binding, so the binding was pink. I did not like that. But other than that, but then later, Aaron, I picked up a Tobacco Burst P90 Les Paul, just Gibson USA, brand new. I think it was even new, like a 2023, if not 2020, whatever, new. Holy crap, if the Explorer wasn't already on layaway, that fucker was going into a case and going on the shelf, because I fell in love with that guitar. And you'll see it in the demo. And this is after shooting 5-6 demos prior to that. You would think you're kind of burnt out. You're just going through the motions. But that thing, oh my God. I played it and played it and played it. I turned off the camera. I even played it more. And I was just like, oh, I love this guitar. I love it, love it, love it. Couldn't tell you why.
For me, though, when I'm talking about consistency, I'm not talking about feel, shape, stuff like that. I'm talking about like a liveliness. And I don't even know that that's something that can be quantified when you build a guitar. It's going to be whatever that guitar is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying if you could make that consistent and get every guitar to chime, when you strum the damn thing, it blossoms.
Right?
It's loud. Like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
like
I want them all to feel
the tributes. I really want to like the tribute. Like for instance, I saw a Cherry Burst tribute marked as used. It's a demo model there. They're blowing it out, Aaron, at 1,200 Canadian. Okay. That's the price basically of an Epiphone Les Paul these days is 1,200 Canadian.
Yeah.
So I was like, because I'm thinking resale value. I couldn't play it because it's got that open pore finish on the neck.
Oh, the open pore satin finish.
Fuck that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that.
I don't know. It feels like I'm holding a rock. Like
I didn't mind it.
It's way too porous.
But you know what?
A maple neck, I can handle feeling like that. You can have an unfinished maple neck, fine, but not unfinished mahogany.
Taylor does that on a lot of their acoustics, and that was something that would put a lot of people off. Like, you either like it or you don't. But I tell you what,
$2 on some wood grain filler and fill it.
People that like it love it, man.
Yep, did not care for it at all.
Scott Brockway had asked me to tell him about Xander circuitry. After Earthquaker Devices, Xander is my favorite pedal company. He is a small-ish company out of the UK. And he has been doing, how like JHS got big with like the rotary switch on the muffaletta, and then he did it on the Tube Screamer one, and then he did it again on the Rat Pack. He's been doing a 6-diode different clipping thing way longer than that. Like, he's been doing it forever, and it's on every one of his pedals. It's on the muff style. He's got muff style pedals. He's got harmonic percolators. He's got rat styles. He's got I'm guessing probably a 250. I don't know what the green one is. Could be a Tube Screamer, but he doesn't strike me as a Tube Screamer kind of guy, but could be. But one of the coolest things that he did is he's the first guy I know of in the boutique world to come up with a dumbed down, really cool, how the Strifecta, the Big Sky, the Mobius, and the Timeline, his versions of those, and they're
Mhm.
freaking rad. Like the one year that you were in California with me, I played on the demo for the Junipero, which is like the modulation one. The harmonic trem on that was outstanding. But it's really
Yep.
cool because it's, that size. It's got the 3 switches. But what's nice about that is there's no menus. There's, 5 savable presets right there on board that you can toggle, and the light switches which one you saved. You up and down right there, on, off. He's the first one I know of that's done that in that world. And plus hence Alexander, uh, he's just a good dude, man. His pedals are awesome. He's into the same kind of music that we're into. So yeah, that's what you need to know about Xander. If you don't know about Xander circuitry, just Google them. They're awesome. In fact, I think I saw, because like I use the Foxton Woods fuzz for years. That's been the fuzz on the last record and the one that is being mastered right now. And Alex uses the Sono, which is like a preamp, 250 style bass preamp, and a, what is it? The Woolly Mammoth, I think, the Zevex is the fuzz side of it. That's what Alex uses on his bass, and it's fantastic. And right now, I know he's got a Blem sale going that's worth checking out. It's roughly like $120, I want to say. And then he's blowing out the end of the for all our bass players. He's blowing out the end of the Sonos that he has for $99. Like, you can't beat it. And all those proceeds, I think, are going to somebody in the community that has a bunch of his pedals and stuff. His house burned down. So anything he sells from that is going to help that guy.
Gotcha. Nice.
Which that tells you the kind of person he is. I mean, small builders don't normally turn around and go like, anything I make off of this is going to this.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
Speaking of, so I mentioned it. So the EP is finally, for the love of God, in Cleveland being mastered as we speak.
Nice.
And we've settled on what I think is going to be the first song that we are shooting a video for. So I'm hoping within the next month and change that will be out.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to send you it, actually. Maybe I'll do that, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I got to go back in the studio myself in a couple of weeks.
You going back over to record more with the dude that did Greasy Weasel?
Yep. At the bare minimum, I'll make up some more backing music to make for intros and stuff like that. And then I got a couple ideas floating around in my head that I want to get down, and then also might be looking at some collaborating. And actually, also, I think I'm supposed to go out this Friday.
We're already in June,
go to
right?
band, possibly. Jason, if you're lurking, are we going this Friday or next? Band reached out to him about doing some stuff together. Wanted to check out. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to go as an extra set of ears?" Done, dude. Glad to. Jason makes a cameo in the Lon McQuaid video that I shot yesterday, including Zach Thong's in the video, and Jason was there for a bit of time picking up some strings.
Nice. Yeah, we've got shows in July.
And I got my radio machine back.
We've got shows in July, August, and September. So music is staying busy. I've been mostly it's been behind the scenes stuff and transitioning to the kids' summer schedule.
Charles says, "I'm waiting for the hit single, Help a Fella Understand." That I thought that was just going to be a segment. I thought that could be a segment on Guitar Safari. Just saying.
That actually is a great idea for a segment. I always think
that's the Q&A segment, right? Yeah, like when you have a problem and you need an answer, help a fella understand.
I'll tell you what, the song could be called Can a Fella, because the amount of times that you go, can a fella find a screwdriver? Can a fella? No. Oh, I'm holding it. Like,
Can a fella? We can do that one. Yep. Where are the shows going to be, Aaron?
We are in Chicago in July. We are in. We're playing the Bicentennial Fest in August. And then we're playing the Roxy Theater in Lockport in September, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, they'll all be good shows.
Mm-hmm. Sassy says sounds like red greens. Well, yeah.
Their gummies? I don't know.
Somebody actually commented on a video last week. How many times are you going to say "I don't know" in this video? And I responded, "Well, I'll try for more next time."
No, you should have responded, "I don't know."
I don't know.
That's what you should have said.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ryan Hall wants to know if we're coming to Tennessee. You know what's interesting is I was thinking I may go down to Tennessee just on my own here in the next month or so. Because I was talking to Perry, and Perry said to give him a call and let him know if I want to come down and hang out for a weekend. So I might do that. I might just drive down on a Friday and stay until a Sunday type deal.
I'd like to do that too, but I got to get a passport again first.
Oh, yeah, I got to update my passport. Good call. I definitely need to do that.
Well, you don't need it for Nashville, but I do.
No, but I still want to get over to the UK. Like, you know me, that's always been what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Or
like
come to Canada.
I have enough money to do both if I wanted to right now. So it's like probably should
I
get
have
that
the
taken
room,
care
Aaron,
of.
is what I'm saying.
You do. You absolutely do.
Yep.
I could fly up, hang out for a weekend.
Yep.
Do a Sunday
It's
night
only
hang.
a couple hours to the airport down the highway.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yep. That's
You've
right.
got ice.
If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
That's a nice way to put that. Speaking of,
One of us next weekend, Ryan.
I've got to give him
weekend.
A massive thumbs up to our guy Ike over at Flipside. So when him and I were out in Cali, he had turned me on to this show on Netflix. It's an old Scottish sitcom. It was like the most popular sitcom ever. It was called Still Game.
Okay.
And it's about these like 70-year-old pensioners that have been friends for like 60 years, and they live in like a total shithole. And they basically eat breakfast, go to the bookies, go to the bar. Like, that's it. But it's hilarious, and the characters are amazing. I've watched all 9 seasons twice, and now my dad and I are watching the third time through together, and him and I are 6 seasons in.
Nice.
Like, we'll sit down and watch, 3 to 5 episodes. There's only it's like 6 to 9 episodes a season, but that show is freaking magic. It is hilarious. Now, since it's heavy Scottish accents, there's lots of arseholes and shites and bollocks and bollocks. You got to make sure that subtitles are on. But my God, is it funny? The amount of times that they say "get up, yes." Oh my God, it's been so bad. I'm saying it at work now. Like, if I solve something, I'd be like, "Yes, get right up, yes." Oh, I love it. So yes, it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, look up Still Game. You'll see two old Scottish dudes, tall, skinny one, and a shorter, squat guy, and they are hilarious.
Nice.
They live across the hall from this lady that's a total gossiper, and she's hilarious. And this one guy that loses his leg, Winston, he's freaking hilarious. Like, he loses his leg, and the gossipy chick says, if you don't have anything to do, you can come with me to the dance. I'd love to have a good-looking man on my arm. And he goes, I'm racking my brain trying to come up with reasons why I can't go. How about this? Number 1, I've never liked you. Number 2, I've only got one leg. And 3, no. And he walks away from her, hobbles away. Oh, it's magic.
Nice.
And Ike, I owe all that to Ike. So, Ike, if you watch this or if you're in the chat, that was a fantastic. It was probably like the second or third day. It was the second day Ike was with me, and he's like, all right, I know your personality well enough now. You need to check out this show. And I watched like one episode that night before I went to bed. And then I just started watching more and more. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
Apparently it's on YouTube as well.
Oh, does it have all 9 seasons? Because if not, just watch it on Netflix. And it's hilarious because after the credits in every episode where it says, it does like all the rolling credits and then it stops and says directed and produced by, there's always like a 30 to 50 second finish to the episode. And some of those are just unbelievably funny. I mean, the show would probably be canceled nowadays. I mean, they've even got like the Indian convenience store guy, and he's farking hilarious. Naveed. Oh my God. But God, it's so good.
And to answer Lee's question, yes, Doug Strong has a right. Corner Gas. Great Canadian show. And Ryan, I think that's what RJ said. I don't know. I don't live in Tennessee. I don't go to festivals and stuff, but I think that's what he said. CMA's this weekend and Bonners next weekend. There's one's right after the other. I think. I don't know. You're the Tennessean. You should know. What are you asking me? The Canadian. You should know. I should be asking you. Thank Terry for putting the links to Aaron's stuff in the...
Oh, yeah. Give us a follow on the old YouTube and Instagrams.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Instagram, we're pushing 600, I want to say. Getting close to 600.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It is nice at this stage of our life where none of us are trying to do it as a career. It's amazing how much more fun it is and how much better the music is when there's no pressure. Having been like signed and touring around, and it's like, oh shit, how much money do we have in the band coffer? How are we getting from point A to point B? What's the itinerary? You know, when's load in? When's sound check? Not having to do that for a couple of months on end every year.
Right.
Really nice. Really nice.
Doug Strong says, I feel like the Canadian show of the moment has to be Letterkenny. Could be. Not up on my exact latest CanCon, but could be.
I don't think it's Canadian, but I was told to watch Ted. Was it Ted Lasso? I think the show is called. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Canadian.
Oh, you'll love this. So there was some thing I saw on YouTube the other day where it was like, do millennials or Gen Z, whatever the hell the young kids are, do they know the 90s? And they've got like, I don't know, 12 of these kids paired up, and they'll play a video and see if they know the song and the artist. First song, Sabotage, Beastie Boys. I think 1 or 2 of them knew it. I'm like, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Next, Foo Fighters, Everlong. They all liked it. Nobody knew who the hell it was or what it was, but they all liked it. And I'm like, well, of course, Foo Fighters rule. Speaking of, that new Foo Fighters record is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Speaking of which, I saw Foo Fighters covering some Huey Lewis in the News on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking love that. Great track. I was like, I gotta learn that riff.
The third song, Just For You, which this one kid knew like instantly and started singing it. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. I love Alanis, but I was like, Jagged Little Pill, baby. Even the Gen Zs know it.
Flipping out. Well, chances are grew up with their mother playing it.
Probably. Dude, that record, I don't think people realize how massive that record is. There's like 5 or 6.
Like me, I'm just thinking, like growing up in my childhood, the soundtrack was my mom playing Janis Joplin a lot. My mom played Janis Joplin a lot. So
dude, that record had
get it. Like if you're, well, you say, 30-ish, 20 to 30 now, and I grew up, they played Jagged Little Pill all the time growing up. No kidding.
Well, Zeke and I were talking about this at work. I think that album had 5 or 6 like hits. And I think when we were going through it, I think it's 6, but we could only remember 5. So then we Googled it. And there's 6. I want to say there's 6 singles off of that ended up being hits. Because it's Head Over Heels, Ironic, You Ought to Know, Hand in My Pocket. Damn it. Now I'm stumbling. Maybe we could only remember 4 and there was a 5th one. Either way, Jagged Little Pill's an unbelievably good record.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor Hawkins was her drummer. I mean, come on.
Yep. Exactly. Ryan says, okay, so Ryan, you're saying you're not out in the concert scene. I'm not in the concert scene. I've only just started being social again last weekend for the first time since Aaron and I hung out in January of 2020, basically.
Yeah, you got to understand, Ben's life has forced him to be landlocked.
Yeah, so you should still know before me. That's what I'm saying. Your state, your country, not mine.
I'm thinking, given the developments, you'll probably be in Anaheim in January. So you do need to get your passport.
Depends on if I'm driving or not. I'm not flying.
You're not going to fly? Why not?
Over. My flying days are over.
Wow.
Yep.
What
the
if
hassle factor of flying is beyond my patience at this point in time?
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't mind flying.
No, because every time I got to fly, it's an international flight, so they want you there like 2 hours early. Fuck that. I am not spending another 2 hours in an airport in my life.
Yeah. No, I check in 24 hours
just to
before.
Fit into some little seat where my hip's going to be cramped before we even take off. Nope.
Yeah, no, I don't have an issue. I figure
that's why I say bring back Summer NAMM. I'll drive to Nashville. No problem. That's only at 12 to 14 hours from here.
How long do you think it'd take you to drive to Anaheim? Frickin' forever.
3 days. 4 days.
You don't think your hip's gonna lock up sitting in the car for 3 days?
No, because I can cruising, dude. Cruise control. I can move my legs around. You can stretch. I can pull over, get up, walk around. You're not locked in.
That's true. Well, then get your passport and drive to Anaheim.
Well, that's an option. So I say, I really wish they bring back Summer NAMM. Really wish.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'll tell you what, if next year's like this year, though, I'll be super happy because this year was so much fun. It was like perfect.
I do want to do a cross-Canadian adventure.
That would be cool.
Probably not this summer, but next summer. Yeah, because we're already into this summer, so I can't see it happening. But
isn't like the East
drive out to Vancouver and back?
Isn't East Canada like on fire right now?
Well, yeah, I'm not going that way.
There's
no reason to go east. Well,
full on
few
west.
Friends and family. Do I even have any family left down the East Coast? I don't think I do.
See, these are the things you need to remember, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a reason my dad left at 18 and didn't go back. It's too fucking cold. Like when the swimming season is like 3 weeks, because Canada Day weekend, which is basically July 4th weekend, when you look out in the harbor and see icebergs, Aaron, that's not appetizing. That's not warm.
Well, west is going to be colder, isn't it?
No. East Coast is always cooler.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense because there's lakes and oceans and stuff.
The northern Atlantic, right?
I just kept thinking in my head, the closer you get to Alaska, the colder it's going to be, but I guess that's not true.
Yeah, Vancouver is fucking a lot south of Alaska, as opposed to southern East Coast Canada is still north of Maine. So
this is true.
What the fuck,
Have you covered every territory in Canada before, or is there anywhere you haven't been?
I've been to only 3 provinces, and none of the territories. However, I've been to, I don't know, like a dozen states somehow.
I was going to say
epic road trips in the U.S.
I was going to say you've probably seen more of the U.S. than you have of Canada, then, huh?
Oh, guaranteed, yes.
That's funny.
Yeah. Now, I've seen the majority of the populated areas of Canada in a way, because I've driven from basically Detroit border to Montreal, and that's like a third of Canada's population along that route.
I'll tell you what, are they doing Sweetwater Fest this summer?
It's virtual.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. That's what I asked the Rev guys last weekend. I was like, is it COVID reason? They said, no, I think it's a financial thing.
Interesting.
They'd rather fly in and schmooze 40 YouTubers. You know who you are, you 40. You know who you are.
Yep.
Yeah. Like if put it this way, if you hear from a YouTuber in the next few weeks, are you going to Sweetwater's Gear Fest? And they say yes, they're being schmoozed. Just say.
I just can't figure out how they would spend that money not recouping any of it.
Look at you, RJ.
Yeah, but how, I mean, because at Gear Fest, you can only buy shit. So you would think they would make more money. People showing up.
The idea is they're going to fly in 40 YouTubers. Basically, I think it's essentially like their own almost GetCon-esque, like make a ton of content to move product.
Okay.
And that's the idea, right?
But what's the point of opening one gigantic ass location if you're not going to encourage people to congregate at said gigantic ass location?
Because all it is it's an Amazon warehouse with a storefront on the front. That's all it is.
Yeah, but it's a massive storefront.
I know. I've been there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you would think
not that massive. It's big, but
if you're paying people
pretty close in size.
If you're paying people to work in that facility, you would think you'd want as much foot traffic as possible.
Well, you got a music store, you got a call center, you got a cafeteria. That's the one building, and the other building's a warehouse.
Still seems like a shame. You should be encouraging more people to show up.
But I get it, because they're basically doing the Toman thing. They're basically hosting a TGU type event where you get a bunch of YouTubers to show up, create content to move product.
I would assume
these events are for.
I would assume Toman gets a lot more foot traffic in general, though, than that does. Like a Monday through Friday.
I don't know what's the size of the town that Toman's in, as opposed to like Sweetwater's in Fort Wayne, which is it's not a small town, but it's not exactly a huge town either.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're similar. In fact, it might even be more level playing field than I was giving it credit for.
Toman is the European Sweetwater. Like that's what it is. Most of they do way more a ton of online sales.
Oh yeah, dude, they're freaking. You want to
the
talk
only
about
thing that Sweetwater hasn't done is, and they may have, and I don't know about it in the past, and discontinued is have a house brand like Harley Benton.
Yeah, I don't think they do. But you want to talk about German engineering? If you've ever watched the machines that are in Toman's warehouse, oh my God, they're like freaking treadmills that go up onto the shelves and pull the stuff off. It's incredible.
So Fort Wayne's a medium-sized city. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Jay? Like when I was there, I kind of just hung out along a couple block area stretch because what the hell? I had a hotel across the street. I had a hotel with a kitchenette. Across the street basically was a grocery store that sold booze. So perfect.
Fort Wayne's population is 265,974. So 266,000. Now what's the other one?
Yeah, like a Cracker Barrel down the street. So I was good to go for food if I want to eat out.
I want to see because that's in like
Ronnie. To schmooze 40 YouTubers that are going to put out a bunch of content more than offsets the cost of like having to, I don't know, quadruple your staff for the event because they hired a lot of temporary workers for that Sweetwater event because I know somebody that was literally worked there just for the weekend. And she had no idea what she was selling for a product, Aaron. Other than she knew how to look up stuff.
Oh Jesus, it's not even close. Guess how many people live in Bergebrock, Germany?
6,300.
6,400. So they're only off.
You lied, Josh. I went with Josh's answer.
260,000 more in Fort Wayne. Holy shnikes. Now, there could be a bunch of, looking at this map, looks like there's a bunch more surrounding areas that could filter in there, but I highly doubt it gets up to 267,000.
Yeah. Laz says he stopped in at Toman last year when he visited Henning. There you go.
Oh, that's good. Hey, Laz, what's up, my dude?
Well, exactly, Graphite. That's what I like. Graphite gets it. It's like all the the NAMM questions that you hear every year, Aaron. And it's like people don't realize NAMM is a trade show, or people obviously don't know what the term trade show means, which is not public. It's not a public show; it's a trade show, which is business to business, which is inside baseball, basically. Also,
yeah, I think that oh boy, took out my own headphones. I think that's an evolving, given the way that business is done nowadays. I think that trade shows, as they've historically been, is an evolving term. Like you said, you got to get more YouTubers in there. You're trying to push more things online. The orders are placed ahead of time and online, So in terms of the value of a trade show in general, just a straight business to business, that doesn't do a whole lot anymore.
Well, you figure like the cost of like the 40 YouTubers hosting them for the weekend, fly them in, rent out a hotel to put them all up in, feed them, whatever, cart them around, is going to be far cheaper than hiring 100 plus people for a weekend.
I was going to say, yeah.
For the old event.
Yeah, well, once you said they were hiring temporary staff, it made sense. I didn't realize that it wasn't like, all in-house already, people that were on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all hands on deck, plus people, plus those pavilion rentals, those giant tents and shit like that. And
plus, I'm sure they got to pay for security.
Right. Yeah. What do you YouTubers eat? Mostly cold pizza.
That's true. He will eat McDonald's breakfast every day, though.
American ones, not the Canadian ones. I will eat biscuit-based food in the morning.
I did not see you eat any of the... it seemed like when you went to Cosmo, there was a lot of the... Was it poutine?
Every food truck except for the Mafia front was selling poutine.
Yeah, I didn't see you get any. Did you try any?
Fuck no.
How much were they charging for something like that?
The little. Did you see Mayhem's one? Did I show it in the thing?
Yeah.
Fucking $18. I was like, I would have a hard time paying $7 for that. I thought $7 would be overpriced. I paid $9 for my fucking lemonade.
Yikes!
And I'm cheap. I am cheap.
I don't think anybody here is gonna find that hard to believe.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck this. No, like, I'm not paying $18 for a poutine when I can just wait and eat when I get home. I have no problem fasting all day and eating on the cheap later.
Absolutely.
So, give me a lemonade. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Billy. He's like, it's a Bryan Adams tribute band. Every food truck's selling poutine. He's like, what the fuck? This is very Canadian.
Yeah, Graphite's got a point where he says if the gear doesn't suit him, it's not for him. I mean, but that's advertising throughout history, whether it's think about the millions spent on Super Bowl commercials in the US. I mean, what was it? Like a 30-second ad is something like $3 million. I mean, if you're going to spend $3 million for something that I don't give a shit about in 30 seconds, that was $3 million that was wasted. But obviously, they have the analytics to back up that $3 million will gross X. I don't know how that is. I've never been.
Doug, the beer was the cheapest thing at Cosmo. Other than, okay, you pay $6 for a bottle of water, or for $1 more, get a tall boy of beer, which is actually more liquid, or about the same amount. Yeah,
I've never been very sold to. Like I do poorly with that. Like I feel bad when you go somewhere and they're trying to do their, they've been trained on a checklist of shit to upsell you on. That never goes well with me. I'm always just like, no, thank you, no. And by like the third thing, I'm like, stop, just stop.
Yeah. And now it's like, you know what? Now I'm regretting. I don't even know if I want to buy this initial purchase, because now you're just pissing me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's Oh, but you could. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Pushy for the
Sorry.
sake of pushy is.
Well, and that was one of the things that used to crack me up when I worked at Guitar Center is, they're big on that stupid MF and the hell do they even call it?
Well, like an extended warranty.
Yeah, but they've got a name for it. But they always say, and they say, oh, this item qualifies for it. Every fucking item qualifies for it. And the worst part about it is, it's like pulling teeth to try to cash it in, okay? Perfect example. I bought like $1,300 worth of Zildjian sweet cymbals for Eddie. With my discount, they were dirt cheap. It was great. But then it was like, oh, we can get the warranty on all these. And it's like, well, cymbals break. This is the best warranty ever. Cymbals break, paid for it, you get another set. Can't argue with it. Within, because the only set that they had was the set that was on the floor, we checked them out. Yeah, they seem like they're in good shape. Within 2 weeks, 2 of them cracked. I called, and I was working there. I called to put in the claim because it was my name and my receipt and everything. And they're telling me before I even get on that I've got to come up with some concocted story oh, the stand fell over and it cracked. And I'm going, wait a minute. You tell people that this fucking warranty covers accidents, this, that, and the other. It shouldn't matter what I tell them. The goddamn thing I just broke.
It should be the first thing it's covered under is playing results.
Yeah. It shouldn't matter what reason it is. I paid for a warranty. It's been 2 weeks and the thing's broke. I should get my shit. Dude, do you know I had 3 phone calls with those people? And by the end of it, they were like, well, we need photos and this may not qualify. And I'm like, fuck this. So then I literally called Zildjian. They said, oh, yeah, send the cymbals over here. We'll send you new ones. I mailed them the cymbals. They mailed me new ones within a day. I'm like, this is a joke. So, upselling is horseshit. Don't ever get talked into an extended warranty on something at Guitar Center, ever. Don't give them a goddamn penny. Because what they don't tell you is the store manager, his bonus is based off of how many of those they get a year. Mm-hmm. Likewise, they want you to push gear. So I never sold that. I used to tell people all the time, they'd buy one of those little plastic Dan Electro amps, those little novelty things that are $15, and then it'd pop up and say for $8 this is covered under warranty, and I'm going, or $5 or whatever, and I'm going, fuck it, buy a new one if you really want one. Don't spend your money on this. And then the second thing is their gear card, and it's only get a gear card if you're never going to miss a payment. Because the second that you miss a payment, whatever the hell it is you just bought, say you've got $1,000 limit, go ahead and miss one payment on that. It goes back to your beginning and gets charged with interest all the way through, and the interest is 47%. It's get the hell out of here. Fuck warranties.
It's dark outside, and I still have the cat outside. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat. So these extended warranties are fucking jokes. It's everybody wants you to buy one, but nobody wants to pay out on it. It's fuck that. I mean, I guess it's not that dissimilar to, you get in a car accident. You could pay your car insurance for 40 years, never need it. Then somebody rear ends you and it's going to cost some fucking money. All of a sudden, you've got to, sue the goddamn insurance company to get your money. Forget it. What a joke. Thank you, Jay Steen. It's true, man. Richard, I'm based out of Shorewood, Illinois, so think 45 minutes south of Chicago. Charles, thumbs up, no problemo.
Nice.
Now, I will say this. Guitar Center hires a bunch of people that have no business working there because they don't even know how to restring a guitar. So if you want to buy something used, it's the best. Just search for what you're looking for, sort it low to high, and you're going to see such a discrepancy in prices, you're going to shit yourself. You're going to be like, ooh, I know that typically this is $200 new. Used, it'll probably be like $170. Then you'll go and look on their site and they'll have 5 of them and it'll be like 205, 185, 170, 150, 120. And it's like, Jesus Christ, it's the same product. You guys are morons, and they're all in excellent condition. So it's like, it's just how it goes. Like, you've got a massive conglomerate with a bunch of stupid people that work for you. So, I mean, Ben knows this. I live off of Guitar Center's used because you can find stuff that has no business being that cheap. Ever.
I can relate. I kind of found an Explorer like that recently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
because especially when it was taken in on trade in 2018, 2019. And I don't know if you happen to notice, Aaron, but the gear market's kind of changed since 2019, just a skosh. So
I mean, you still haven't gotten things as bad as I have. Like that Reverend I got that had just come out brand new with the rosewood board. That's a $1,200 guitar. I got it for $600.
Yep.
I was like, I mean, I was in California. I was in California with a guitar that was just given to me and having that sent to my store so I could go pick it up. Because I was like, the fuck? Like, this just came out a month ago with the rosewood board. It's $1,200. Used, it should have been like $950. Nope, $600. Mine. So, as long as you do that, you're good. That's true. Dan in New Jersey knows. As long as they make their 40%, they're happy. Now, when I worked there was an email sent out where we were told not to lose any trade-ins over 10%. So give people 70%. So that was great. And our used was going through the roof because I would price everything, the way that it's supposed to be priced. I knew what the hell it was.
Yeah.
And then you give them 70%. They're really happy. Dude, within like a month of that email, they sent another email out that said like, whoa, got to put it back to 60%. I'm like, you guys are morons. Like you're making 30% off of something without even having to do anything.
Exactly. You're paying no delivery, nothing. It's literally 30% pure profit.
You don't restring them. You don't set them up. I mean, you just test that the shit works. Yeah. And as long as you pass a signal,
at most, you may throw in a pack of strings to
we don't even
the sale on the back end. Maybe.
We didn't even do that. Are you kidding me? God. We used to have people come in that would want, like a cord or a strap or something thrown in. And that was like pulling teeth, getting your manager to be like, oh yeah, we'll throw in the strap to seal the deal. He'd look at like the margins and be like, well, they're buying this Gibson, but Gibson doesn't have much of a profit margin because Gibson doesn't need Guitar Center. Guitar Center needs Gibson. So they'd be like, And I'm like, really? You're questioning whether or not to sell the $1,200 guitar because you'll have to eat a $12 strap. And okay, you're right. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yep. What's up, Doug? How's the truck running, Doug?
Scott's absolutely right. Talking about hands-on experience. Oh my God. Like, I mean, there's still times I go in, I go in basically every fourth Wednesday because I have a doctor's appointment. So on my way back from the doctor's appointment, I got to swing right in front of it. So I stop in and hang out for an hour or so. And still to this day, I'll be standing there and I'll hear somebody ask a question. Somebody will start talking and it's like the amount of ahs, and then utter bullshit that falls out of their face. I end up like stepping in most of the time and going like, no, that's not right. Like blah, 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 blah. Or at least they've learned. And now if I'm standing there, they'll be like, Aaron. And I'll be like, perfect example. The last time I was there, a guy asked, and he didn't know any better. So it was like, this is a perfect learning opportunity. He was looking at a pedal and he said, will that pedal work with my looper? First off, any guitar pedal is going to work with your looper. But rather than a simple yes, the girl behind the counter was like, what looper do you have? And then the guy was like, I don't know. I think it's the same brand. It's silver and it's got one button and one knob and it's called the Ditto. And the girl's like, I haven't heard of that one before. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, my head's going to explode. So I literally was like, tapped the guy on the shoulder, and I'm like, TC Electronic. And he's like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, which is the same pedal you're looking at. And all pedals will work with your looper. And she was like, oh, great, thanks. I never heard of that one. And as she's saying that, I point. I'm like, it's in your cabinet right there. Oh, I've never seen that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Know your fucking product.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, it's there for the taking is what I'm getting at, people. If you want to buy something and it's been on the market long enough that it will have found its way into Guitar Centers used, take advantage of it. Because trust me, you will never find a better deal than you will with those schmucks.
I will say the employee knowledge level over at Long & McQuaid these days is much better than years past. That has been a conscious effort of the manager. Aaron was to ensure all hires going forward, meet a criteria, not what Long & McQuaid's criteria is, but what her criteria was, which is more,
Well, so
concept, hire nothing but musicians.
My buddy John that still works there, he's the head of their operations. He's the warehouse manager. He knows his shit, especially vintage gear, guitars. Like, he owns some of the nicest. He's got, vintage RE201s. He's got Bassmen. He's got Twins, Deluxes. I mean, he's got it all, and he's a hell of a drummer, and he knows drums. He just knows gear. He is the only guy in the shop. He doesn't know as much about pedals.
Yeah.
But he's the only guy in the shop. Like, it's funny because I'll come in to see him, and then he'll end up doing what I end up doing, which is like stepping in and being like, whoa, no. Like, and I'm like, okay, so out of the 4 or 5 of you I see standing in this store, you got one. You're 25% competency. Great. I mean, nobody is there from when I was there except him because he's been there for forever.
Also, can we get music store employees that look like musicians? And by that, I mean, I'm sick of being in music stores, Aaron, and customers walking up to me before the employees asking information.
It happens every 4th Wednesday when I'm in there. Someone will come to me and I go, whoa, I don't work here anymore. Like, I haven't worked here for 3 years. Like, I've been at my job for 3 years.
Yeah.
Although they've got a tech that I've known now. He's been there probably, I say, the last 6 to 8 months, and he seems like he knows his shit, which is nice. Big fan of that pedal show, so him and I always talk about that.
Nice.
But yeah, in general, it's like, oh boy. And again, I'm not blaming the employees. Like, you're hiring a bunch of people that are either have never played or don't play an instrument at all. Which, if you play an instrument, you still need to be trained. If you don't play an instrument, you really need to be trained. But instead, they got you watching these stupid cartoon training videos. Dude, I'm not kidding you. One of their training videos is what to climb on to get something out of the warehouse in the back.
Well, clearly 412 cabs.
Oh, yeah. No joke. It's got a cartoon dummy that steps on a drum set, and then the drum set falls over and his head falls off. And it's trying to teach you that you're supposed to use a ladder, which I'm glad that needed to be stated. It's like writing "do not eat" on the frickin',
on a 212 cab. If a 212 cab doesn't work, you go with a 412 cab. If that doesn't work, you pull out an Ampeg fridge. If that doesn't work, it's out of reach. It's too fucking high.
If that doesn't work, you go and get another employee, you put them on your shoulders, and you point from the bottom to which item you need. Then you slowly go 212, 412, 810, and then they can reach it.
Yeah.
It's common sense. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you need something used, buy it from GC because you'll get a steal on it.
Mm-hmm.
Richard's right. 98 to 2004. That's about right. I'd even go as high as, when did they get bought? They got bought and then the recession happened. So they got bought, I think, in 08 by Bain Capital. So I'll even go as high as right before Bain bought them, because then it was, a capital private equity firm that bought them.
And also, music store employees don't have to be fucking nice. In fact, I prefer a pretentious music store employee. Like, when I go in, Aaron, and you say, "Hey, I want to buy one of these," and they go, "No, you don't. You want this." Okay.
Well, yeah, as long as what they're saying is knowledgeable, yes. You still have to have knowledge. Like if I go in and I'm willing to buy a, $1,300 Gibson SG, and you go, "No, you don't. You want this," and you're pointing to a frickin' Squire Strat.
No, I'd be going, like, "You want this Guild S100?" And you're like, "Yes, I do." Like, or
exactly.
I want a Phase 90. No, you want the DoD phaser.
Yeah, that all makes sense. That checks out. But you still have to have the knowledge.
Or literally the gigging musician that, "Hey, what's that compressor like?" "Oh, fuck, I used it last week at a worship gig. Totally kicked ass."
Well, I made an observation. No, perfect example. I made an observation the last time I was in there. I said, "Is it just me, or does Fender not do tellies with rosewood necks anymore? Every telly in here, other than that one or two Squires, is maple."
Mm-hmm.
And this guy goes, "No, we got one right there." And he points to one, and I go, "That's maple." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Jesus fucking Christ." And I walk over and I go, "Rosewood, maple, rosewood, maple, maple, rosewood." And he's like, oh, I thought you said something different. I'm like, what could I possibly have said?
Right. Yeah.
That made you think maple and rosewood in any other way than maple and rosewood?
Yeah. Please enlighten me.
Yikes. But yeah, that is something I want to talk about. The hell, Fender? What's with the lack of rosewood necks on tellies?
No, you talking rosewood neck or rosewood fretboard?
Or fretboard, I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, you got the money to do it on Squires. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, it's all Palfaro or Laurel, Indian Laurel.
I think the ones like the vintage, you know how they've got the, whatever the hell they're called, Squire modified, vintage modified. Those are all rosewood. Mm-hmm. That or they're stained. I mean, it could be that they're stained. I don't know, but
might not be able to get any decent rosewood to do them.
Yeah,
it could be just really stripy, not looking good.
I just know it drives me absolutely crazy because I'm like, I would love to buy a telly that's got a rosewood neck, and you just never have them.
Saving it all for the Jacksons and the Gretches and
Pimp Daddy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, the Squires use the fake stuff. Exactly.
Well, then use the fucking fake stuff. I mean, I'm getting sick of all the maple. For the love of God, little variety, please.
Yep.
The saying is, variety is the spice of life. Apparently not for Fender. Jesus.
I don't know. I gotta look. I demoed Telly. Did I do? Yeah, I did a Telly demo last week.
Yeah, Terry, I did know that they discontinued the rosewood necks, which
look at that. Nice. Maple fretboard. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, big shock, right?
Yep.
Ben wouldn't have liked the rosewood neck Strats and Tellys though, because they have the open pore on them.
Yeah, I didn't care for the full rosewood neck stuff. I played them. I didn't care for them.
I mean, they look pretty, but I didn't.
And even then,
even the ones we had frets.
They were more filled, more closed pore, like
than the Gibson,
mahogany.
Yeah.
So, on that note, we should probably wrap things up. Man, we're going almost 2 hours. Nice.
Oh well, I got on a rant. Sorry, you went away, and I just started ranting.
That's quite all right. And we talked a lot about pedals.
Don't get warranties. Buy used off GC because they're idiots.
And this all goes for your fellow Canucks. It goes for Long and McQuaid as well. Same thing. And Doug said, we did put them through the paces a couple weeks ago. He and I were hanging out together at the Coburg location, and I will say
I prefer Ebony as well.
I'm not familiar with that one, but then they were interested in looking it up or willing to listen about what it was, as opposed to, I haven't heard of that, and then immediately dismissing it and going on to something else. No,
Sassy,
you haven't heard of it, so fucking pay attention.
Sassy says they have a couple of Ebony fingerboards. I actually prefer Ebony. The problem is I don't like the noiseless pickups, and every time I see a modern fucking Stratotelli with a noiseless in it, I'm like, no thanks. I'd have to replace the pickups, and that's another $300.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the ebony. It's a little too tight. Like,
Nah, see, well, it depends. It depends on the guitar. Sometimes it stands out as being like too evil. You know, it just depends on the guitar. But if I had to pick between every goddamn guitar in there being just maple or having a couple of ebonies thrown in, I'll take the ebonies thrown in. Thank you very much.
I guess it depends. I don't know. It's weird that way.
I mean, most of my guitars are maple. Like, I guess. Let's see. No. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Oh yeah, those are all. Wow. So I do have a lot of rosewood fretboards. Okay.
So I've got
that whole rack is rosewood. That's half and half, and that's mostly rosewood. I actually have more rosewood than maple.
I was gonna say I have 11 in here, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 of the 11 are maple. So, I mean, I have more dark, fretboards than I do maple, but I like both. I like roasted maple a lot.
I agree, Richard. Ebony is between maple and rosewood because maple being very tight and smooth, and ebony being there, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that way. Yeah, I like rosewood. I like maple, but I'm not a big ebony person for some reason. Maybe because it's got to be one or the other. Pick a lane, I guess. That's what my fingers are saying.
I really like in a perfect world, roasted maple, ebony fingerboard. That's what I like the most. I love the look of it.
Marshall Murray, Fender makes you choose between locking tuners and single coils.
Basically, yes. Yep. So, anyways,
no maple fretboards. Wow.
This has been our segment of what was it? Kenafella? Or how's a fella?
Help a fella understand?
Help a fella understand why there's no goddamn rosewood tellies and strats.
Right.
The first episode.
We got an Amazon guitar over there, and it's got a rosewood looking fretboard.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. Stuff. Oh yeah. And dude, I love the look of what's the Wenge. Oh, I love the look of Wenge. Oh. So, anyways,
you can keep the roasted maple, Murray. I am not a fan of roasted maple.
I love roasted maple. Love it. Super fucking stable.
Feels okay. Stinks to high heaven.
Oh, no. Mine. I don't even think mine have a smell. My Reverend doesn't smell.
It smells. They smell.
I don't.
Some smell more than others, but they all smell. If you find this, literally, you'll find a sweet spot. Whoop, there it is. Yep.
I don't think I ever
just ripped a drop of maple syrup.
I don't put my guitars to my nose, so I guess I just never notice it.
Well, yeah, you're not playing all jazz style, right? You gotta play
no.
Play up here. Woo!
I've been Ben. He's been Aaron. Hold that door out for people. Let them in traffic. Karma is real. Just ask Doug. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. If you watch this on a replay, leave a comment. Don't forget to follow the links on my guy Aaron over there for Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.